So, if you don't know, I've been trying to make a world. I've yet to decide on a name for it, but I think I've decided on Isenfir, a really badly translated version of Ice and Fire. And this world needs people to populate it, and landscapes and creatures. So I decided to show you guys a bit of the design process. So right now, I'm showing you the design process of the dwarves. Now, I'm sure a lot of you already know what a dwarf is, and you're probably scratching your head wondering why it looks like a bug. Well, that's because of an old Norse mythology legend in which the dwarves came out of the dead giant's body in the form of maggots. I was inspired by this, and I decided to base my dwarves around that. And so I'm just gonna speak a bit of lore. The dwarves are a short insectoid race that are incredibly skilled with metalworking, tinkering, and certain forms of alchemy. A dwarf starts as a pupa, then a larva, adolescent, and finally a drone. Dwarves live in great stone cities, known to them as hives. Although the cities have many amenities and architecture similar to humans, much of their unique design can be seen from hanging pods to small tunnels, and sleeping halls for miners. Female dwarves each have a nest pod, and these nest pods can contain up to 400 dwarves. A single dwarf chieftain is in charge of the nest pod. The female's job is to ensure, like the queen of many insect hives in our world, to breed and reproduce healthy babies for the colony, while the male chieftain, dominant male, job is to look after his sons and ensure that they are properly corrected and organized. The male will organize his sons into certain divisions, whether it be defending the hive against enemies, farming, or mining. Although a certain number of dwarf are specifically chosen for a permanent job. The dwarves have 4 arms. This is quite obvious, and the 4 arms can be used widely in combat. Dwarf combat is very similar to Viking combat, wild, thrashing about, big metal maces, axes, but also knives, and I thought it would be quite cool to convey this a bit, so I've drawn axes around my dwarf. Of course, this dwarf will live in the mountains, like so many dwarfs before it. Dwarves from The Hobbit, dwarves from, I guess, Deep Rock Galactic, and just dwarves in any media. But I had a unique plan for these dwarves. While they would live in the mountain, I'd imagine they'd have great, endless expanses below the surface of my world. Tunnels that can get you anywhere without having the danger of above ground, where people can raid and kill you on the side of the road. But I thought, and I took inspiration from Hollow Knight here, that you would have to pay a toll to a dwarf you would have to pay a toll to a dwarf to be allowed passage through these tunnels. But yeah. Now, I guess, onto the glamour shots.